Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Working Out Game video. Today's video is dedicated to very hard tips. First time here, welcome aboard. Let's get right into it. Note that pretty much I changed out my lineup so that it's Yui, Chika, Yukari, Nozomi, and Peko. Now the thing is with, using Maho, I didn't use Maho in particular because for me, Nozomi support was a little bit better. Just note that pretty much all of my gear is pretty much max refined or my materials, and they're all rank 7. Now the thing is, Chika's the only one missing a piece of gear, but for the most part everyone's super strong and we are at level 62. So note here that I pretty much cast Yukari's shield whenever he's about to do like that big blast, and for me it worked out in the beginning, but later on throughout the stages it doesn't really help as much. For me personally, it's better to cast it right before his silence, but we'll talk about that later. You can see here that for the most part, like, there is going to be a certain attack pattern. So after he launches his arms, or sometimes he ground pounds, he'll do that ult attack. Sometimes he does like that silence super early, and sometimes it's also it's decent enough to block that silence because it does a decent amount of damage. The most important part is keeping your healers alive throughout the entire fight. And this isn't the guide, this is just a bunch of tips, and this is what worked out for me. Because I know everyone has a different way of pretty much running very hard. So, you run that how you will. I am using Peko. She did work out for me. I managed not to use Miyako. And the biggest thing was sometimes, doing things like this where I have to do a suicide run where pretty much Carol and Lima have to get in there and pretty much die. Now the reason why this happens is mainly because I know that he's about to ulti here, and it's not good for my characters to just jump in and get ulted, because they're for sure, like my healers for example, if they're not fully topped up, they're going to die. And the reason why my healers are the ones to usually die, just because I guess they're built squishy for this. I'm not really sure why, because I thought my Yukari and Nozomi would die because they would have the least amount of HP. So it was like kind of particular to me, I guess. So you can see right here, like, we spawn in, and this is a run where I specifically fail, and I'm pretty sure you guys will instantly see why. And it's mostly because Chika will not have enough HP to live like the ult for the boss. So you can see right there that little bit of like sliver that I had on Chika that got like taken out by the silence. It didn't matter if I casted my shield or not, because she would not be able to live. So the biggest thing was casting the shield, of course, and then casting the heals for Yui, because Yui has the best heal in the entire game, so that it pretty much makes Chika topped off, right? So you can see right here that Nozomi, she gets the taunt. That taunt is super important so that pretty much my Peko doesn't take too much heat, because for some reason my Peko just really gets killed on this. And you can see right here, Yui and Chika live, and that's just mostly because we have a little bit more sliver of HP, and we, instead of blocking like that giant ult with Yukari's shield, we block pretty much the silence, which is to us a little bit more important, right? So you can see right there, we got 0 damage off, and then next, we get ulted, but we have a full bar of HP, and Chika and Yui pretty much do max heals. Now, it's really important for my team to use Nozomi, because when I tried running this with Peko by herself, she would just get completely demolished, because Peko can't take the heat. Nozomi, for me in particular, can take it, and I know some people can use like Miyako or Kuka, but for me this is what pretty much worked out. And I know you can technically use Yukari's shield to block the Arch Golem's ult, but that just didn't work for me. I had to pretty much use it so that it would get casted on the silence, and I'm pretty sure some folks can elaborate why, but I'm just showing you the methods that worked out for me. And for the most part, it's kind of like a rinse and repeat process. So you're supposed to fail these. You're not supposed to, successfully beat the boss in one run, which is the cool part. And it's sort of like a future sight into what clan battle will be in some case, except in clan battle, your focus will be to do more damage. But here in dungeon, your only goal is to survive with all of your units, so you can keep running it over and over and over again. Because you can see here, there's no real penalty for failing, The only real penalty is if you lose characters because you can't use them again, right? So you can just don't worry about that one run attempts because you can just keep going. And you can see here, like, it's just quintessential that Yui and Chika, they're topped up. Whenever, like, even though Yukari and Nozomi have a little bit of health, so long as they have like a little bit over half or not a quarter, they'll be perfectly fine. Because you can see here, Nozomi is like, you know, below half and she should technically die. But she can really take like the heat. It's mainly Yui and Chika because they get almost like cut in like a quarter. So for me, it was just one of those things where if I didn't get that right, I would reset. And I spent like 20 minutes just doing this very hard. But the reason why you do this is because of the stamina statue. That stamina statue is super worth it. And you can see here that pretty much we're at the final stages of it. And I did clear it once before, so I wanted to make sure that when I provide tips for this stage, it worked out pretty well. So I was pretty excited being able to do this. It was a long time coming. I saved up a bunch of resources, and no, I didn't do more summons. Thankfully, Yui, you know, she's a free character who becomes super amazing at rank 7. She is by far leagues ahead of anyone else when it comes to healing. Like, I highly recommend building her once you get to rank 7 because her magic damage is really good, but most of all, her heals are just insane. Like, it's next level for a free unit. I've never seen a free unit perform this well. And you can see here, like, it's just a matter of repeating the process. And to some folks, it might seem like I'm spamming skills. For me, it was getting Yui's heals right before the ult happened, because I knew once he did like the pretty much the rocket fist, I had to heal at some point because he's gonna ground pound and then he's going to do the silence, and after he's gonna ult. Usually that is the pattern. Sometimes he doesn't silence and then ult, but it's all based off of your personal timing, right? You will have like your own way of detecting it. But pretty much here, like, there's like a sliver of time left, and for me, I kept resetting this because all of my units would die if I spammed the heal. Getting Yui's heal was the most important thing for me. So you can see here we failed, but there's only like a sliver of health. And it's not that important if there's a sliver of health to have all of your characters topped up. But to me, it's like super important just to have enough HP. So just in case anything goes wrong, we just walk in there and he ults. We'll still be fine because that can happen. So we pretty much one-shot him, and you can see here, it doesn't matter. As long as you can pretty much deal enough damage with all of your characters alive, you can pretty much keep on going, and then nice, we get the chest right here. For something that takes like so long and so hard, I don't know if it's worth it because it's 20 minutes of your time, but it's really challenging and it's very, like, you know, awesome to overcome. But anyways, that's it for today's video. You can see here that's the stamina statue, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.